The big 7 lies about web accessibility and what the real truth is. Okay guys, if you've got a website, you're going to want to watch this video, because if your website isn't accessible to certain groups of the population, you are missing out. Now you may think it's going to cost you a lot of money, or it's going to be really complicated, or there's a bunch of laws you got to deal with. It is going to be so easy by the time you finish this video. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do, and when you do these things, not only will your website be more accessible, you're going to make more money, more people are going to be able to go to your site, and you're going to be better off. I want to thank you for watching this video. First off, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that big subscribe button down there, turn it from red to gray. Don't forget to ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or I upload a video. Now, what is website accessibility? First off, let's define that. Website accessibility has to do with making your site available to a larger audience. Now, wouldn't you want to do that? And that larger audience could be people with a vision impairment, an audio impairment, a learning disability, an age disability. So we want to make sure everybody has access to your website. Now, the best way to do that is to utilize assistive technology. Okay, assistive technology, and what that basically is it's a reader, and it allows these screen readers to actually read your site for the individual. Okay, and we're going to get into more detail about that in just a second, but I also want to go over some of the myths and some of the, I guess, half-truths about accessibility that we hear all the time and we accept it, but they're just not right. Now, we know, like in physical buildings in the US, you have to have accessibility for people who have disabilities. In other words, a ramp going into a restaurant or a store, so that everybody has access to your business without any barriers. And wouldn't you want to do that? I mean, you don't want to put up barriers to people who actually want to access your website and maybe give you some money. So the same standards need to apply to the internet that it does to a physical building. More and more people are doing things online. They're paying bills, they're buying products, you know, they're ordering groceries. Wouldn't you want them to be able to use your site? And the answer is obviously yes. Now, the one statistic that's thrown around all the time is that 15% of the population have some sort of disability. While there is at least 15%, it's a much greater number than that. It's a much greater number because a lot of these disabilities can't be seen with the human eye. If somebody has a hearing impediment and they walk down the sidewalk, there's no way you're going to know that, but they wouldn't have access to your site if you have some audio files on there. So we want to make sure that everybody has availability to get on your site and to interact with your business. The real number is more like about 26% of the population. And you think about that, 26% of the population. Why would you want to shut those people out from visiting your website and utilizing what you have? Now, the second myth I hear a lot is that website accessibility is a very costly and complicated thing to do, and it's just not. Okay, it's actually very easy, and a lot of these things can be automated. A lot of the errors on your sites, a lot of the problems on your sites, you can sign up with an accessibility company, and all of those can be corrected almost immediately. Now that leads us into myth number 4, that automated technology can fix all the problems on your site, and that's not really true either. It's more of a hybrid combination of some of these automated tools and physical things that you can do to make your site more accessible. Some people, when polled, thought accessibility meant having a toolbar of the different categories, and that's just not accessibility. The fourth myth out there is that digital accessibility has to do with people who have vision problems. Now, while that is part of it, that's a very small part of it. Actually, there are more people with mobility problems. Maybe they can't move their hands and arms, and they need a different way to navigate your site. Possibly it's an age-related thing. The font on your site is way too small and it needs to be a lot larger so they can see those things. It could be an audio type thing where they can't hear some of your videos or your audio files on there. So accessibility is a very wide range of things that we need to look at and we need to fix. And I hear people say, well, if I do all that, it's going to mess up the design of my site. It most certainly will not. It's not going to hurt the design of your site at all. It just makes it available to more people. Once again, don't you want that? The next myth I hear, number 5, is that digital accessibility has to do with websites in the United States. Now, while the United States do have rules and laws that make your site accessible to people with disabilities, it's increasing all around the world, in countries all around the world. And if you think about this, you are probably selling or trying to reach people around the world. And even if you're not, let's say you're just located in the United States, because I'm in the United States, so I talk about that a little bit more. But let's say you are just in the United States, or maybe you're in a foreign country that markets the United States. There are laws and there are rules that you have to abide by, so you could actually get in trouble if you don't do these things. Myth number 6 is that accessibility only has to do with brick and mortar businesses. That is not true. It also applies to websites. According to Title III of the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Acts, everybody has to have the right to access places of public accommodation. And yes, that does apply to websites. So if you don't fix some of these things and you don't do some of these things, you could be up for a costly legal battle that you don't want to fight. It has been fought and won in court that websites do fall under this public accommodation situation of Title III. So you need to get on this, and you need to get on it fast. And we're down to our last myth now, and myth number 7 is this particular law, Title III of the ADA, does not apply to companies with less than 15 employees. That's not true. It makes no exception for small businesses. So if it's just you operating out of your living room, you are as liable as a company with thousands of employees, and it's been proven in court that they can win a case against you. So it's so very important that you do something about it. So what can you do about it? You can use a service, and there's a lot of services out there. I like Equal Web. I'll put that on the screen down here. Equal Web, you can go there and they can help you out with your compliance, but there's also some steps that you can actually take too. Okay, so let me go ahead and throw some of those things up on the screen, and you can stop the video at this point and jot those things down or come back to this later on. But these are just some of the things that you could do on your own to make sure you are more accessible to a larger portion of the population. First off, choose a content management system that supports accessibility. Don't use a website builder that doesn't. Number 2, use headings correctly to organize the structure of your content. Number 3, include proper alt text for images, and that's basically just a description of what those images are. Number 4, give your links unique and descriptive names. That's very, very important, as opposed to just letting your website generate them. Number 5, use color with care. Not too much of this, because this can be very disruptive, or it can cause people to lose interest. Number 6, design your forms for accessibility. Make it easy to fill out your forms. Number 7, use tables for tabular data, not for layout. Number 8, ensure that all content can be accessed with the keyboard alone in a logical way. So make sure that's available. Number 9, use ARIA roles and landmarks, but only when necessary. And number 10, make dynamic content accessible. Okay, so you've got a list of things you can do. You have a company you can go to, and you can certainly Google and find a whole lot more companies that help you with accessibility. But the bottom line is, guys, this is beneficial not to all those people out there, but also to you as a business owner. Understand, doing the right thing sometimes is not always easy, but it's still the right thing. And you want to do the right thing. You want to make sure people have accessibility. I mean, how would you feel if there were certain businesses that shut you out because you had some disability? I mean, if you put yourself sometimes in somebody else's shoes, it helps you see this in an entirely different light. I've done that probably more so in the past few years of my life than I ever have before, because I had some dangerous things happen in my life, and it made me really think about things around me. It made me really think about other people and some of the stuff they're going through. I used to get really upset when people cut me off in traffic, and then one day I was cutting somebody off in traffic because I was going to an emergency, and they got mad at me and they blew their horn and they were really irate and cussed me out and all this. And I was thinking to myself, they don't know what's going on in my life. They don't understand what the problems I'm having right now. They don't understand how I have to get somewhere really fast. So that made me think about anybody that cut me off anymore. It made me think about, what are some of the reasons that they would cut me off in traffic? Maybe they are a bad driver. Maybe they just can't help it, right? Maybe they have an emergency. Maybe they just lost a friend or a relative, or they've got fired from their job. The point is, when somebody does something like that, we always assume they're just trying to do something to us and we get angry. So I turned over a new leaf in life, and if somebody cuts me off, I assume that they got something going on, there's something bad's happening, or they're just a bad driver, and it doesn't get me mad anymore. If anybody wants to get in front of me now, I just let them get in front of me, because what's it going to matter if a 15-foot car, 12-foot car, I don't know how long a car is, but anyhow, if a car gets in front of me and they are 10 or 12 feet in front of me, and they take up some room, that's not going to slow me down getting where I want to go. That's not going to hurt me in the least. So why get angry about it, guys? So also, we're going to go back to this website thing. I want you to think of it the same way. Think of all of the different disabilities. Maybe somebody can't move their arms or legs, or can't hear, or can't see, or has cognitive problems. Wouldn't it be cool to help those people out? Okay, and you have the added benefit of getting more business and having more people access your site. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you are somebody who has some limitations with disability, put your comments below. I really do want to hear about it. I think it'll help a lot of people if they can see and hear you as a real person. Also, if you've had experience with accessibility on sites, let me know about it. If you have any questions, ask your questions below. I love getting your questions and I love answering them. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget, ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. I want to thank you so much for watching the video once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.